Good morning, Ralph Hartman here on the roadside, Beneva, south of Curtis. Another cool and breezy morning here in Sarasota. Potential candidate for Congress. Another concern just happened a few minutes ago, and I know this is going to be partly irritating, but I decided I'll detail. I've detailed the same matters in writing repeatedly. I don't think it's going to seem likely, but a few moments ago, a man who wanted to sound like President Biden got into the sound of an airliner passing over, projected to the area from a distance, and for whatever reason, he sounded kind of discouraged and said, "We had conspired, but you had made it safe, or it was made safe," pertaining to the vaccine, the COVID vaccine controversy. What he meant was that there had been, he was alleging that, excuse me, I'm holding a laptop computer and it's windy. Item that I was holding was so he was implying about the safety of the COVID vaccines. And then for whatever reason, I don't know, I don't know why, but he says an emphasis of varying the name Moderna to Modern. So anyway, that sounds kind of ridiculous. I know it, but it's exactly what I heard. So anyway, that reminded me of something else that I had concernedly written of, maybe even before the creation of the name Moderna. Years ago, I've said before that I have a difficulty about a father who had staged his death and lived on in secret, starting back in near the end of February of 1967. Well, a detail that I remembered from back then is Albert A. Hartman, had allegedly died in Baptist Hospital in Miami on North Kendall Drive, and I don't remember the name of the chapel that the funeral service was in, but I do remember that the graveside service was in Miami Memorial Gardens. So it's still a cemetery located in southwest area of Miami on the west side of the Palmetto Expressway. And what I remember in particular about the location is that when we passed by on the expressway, just south of the cemetery, right on the edge of the cemetery, there was a big billboard sign, and the billboard sign was an ad for a furniture company named Modern Age. Okay, when I was a young kid still then, and at that time I was an 11-year-old, and what the sign kind of perplexed me about. What was kind of peculiar to me about the sign is that the M of it looked like a Roman numeral 3 instead of an M. So at first I considered the pronunciation maybe being Modern Age. So anyway, the Modern Age Furniture Company was a big company back then. I don't remember any details about it, although I think a subsequent brief research indicated an origin of New York City. But anyway, so there's the name that includes modern, and of course, before ever hearing anything about Moderna years ago, a concern became the creation of the company named Monster, because the Monster name has the M that looks like a Roman numeral 3 instead of an M also. And I think, as I have said before in writing, but I've never replied to about anything, is that the modern Monster energy drink apparently started in about 2003 or 2004, and at the time, I don't remember about the drink, but I do remember that something else started at about the same time, that there were some trading cards, that used to be kind of similar to the baseball cards that boys used to get in packages of bubble gum. But I remember in the Books A Million store back when I was working on a little Christmas book, Christmas book that included a cute word that girls like, blessies. a varying of blessing. That something else started during the same time, apparently, kind of like competing against the cute word monster trading cards. And I remember noticing that that some boys had meetings about the monster cards in the Books A Million store of Pavilion. So I'm remembering, it's just another detail that I think originates from Albert Hartman in some way. On one occasion, as I detailed in a previous video, I don't think it was ever noticed. I saw a man who looked exactly like Albert Hartman drive past in a green monster-themed tow truck, heading south on Beneva, and he didn't look towards me, but as he drove past me, he said that he's because of wanting to accuse that when I was a little boy, I was obsessed about monsters. But that is absolutely a lie, a fabrication. He was a very secretively abusive father, and allegedly died of leukemia, but he lived on in secret. The indications have been in the recent years, since I found out about it, that he was secretly gay and of a Nazi origin. And so, for whatever reason, living in Miami, he apparently was getting in some kind of trouble, and he staged his death. Although other indications are that he continued to live sometimes in the Miami area anyway. So anyway, I want to abbreviate this. This was made because a man wanting to sound like, I don't know if he was the president or not, hopefully not, but a man wanting to sound like Mr. Biden got into the sound of an airliner, alleging being of having conspired pertaining to the Moderna brand, and that the matter was resolved instead, that the vaccines are deemed considered to be safe, and that he had said a variation of Moderna to Modern, and that reminded me of a continuing concern originating from a father who staged his death. At the time, he was a pharmaceutical salesman. Albert Hartman worked as a pharmaceutical salesman for William H. Rohrer up until the time of his alleged death in Miami. And the big billboard sign near the cemetery that included the word modern age furniture company that had used what looked like a Roman numeral 3 instead of the M in the beginning, and that eventually, in more recent years, that there was apparently some kind of a link between Albert Hartman and the Monster brand. The Monster brand also using a Roman numeral 3 instead of an M. And of course, there's these days concern about old gays allegedly being from the Vatican talking about starting World War III. Well, this is for everyone being saved instead, and I hope everyone's having a peaceful day, and that the plot of starting a World War III will be stopped, and that there will be a peaceful future instead.